citizens must also restore the bonds of trust and loyalty between one another. We must love each other, respect each other, and cherish our history and our future together. So important. We have to respect each other. Ideally, we have to love each other.
President Trump asking America to look in the mirror after yesterday's deadly violence in Charlottesville and calling for unity. His daughter, Ivanka Trump, also echoing the point, tweeting out this morning: "We must all come together as Americans and be one country united. Hashtag Charlottesville." Joining me right now is Karl Rove, former senior advisor and deputy chief of staff to President George W. Bush and a Fox News contributor. Always a pleasure, Karl. Thanks so much for joining in the conversation here. Your reaction to the president's response to Charlottesville. I know the mainstream media is going nuts all morning saying that he should be slammed. What did you think?
Well, I don't say slam, but I'm frankly a little disappointed. It was a missed opportunity. I thought his opening statement was pretty darn good up to a point. Yeah, he said, "We condemn in the strongest possible terms this egregious display of hatred, bigotry, and violence." And I thought that was a great beginning. But then he veered off. And he clearly was reading, not reading off of his script. He said, on many sides, on many sides. It's been going on for a long time in our country. Not Donald Trump, not Barack Obama. It's been going on for a long, long time. Sort of like defensive, and it's not my fault, and this isn't me, this isn't Barack Obama. I thought the Attorney General of the United States hit a much better tone when he announced his federal investigation. This Attorney General Jeff Sessions said, "The violence and deaths in Charlottesville strike at the heart of American law and justice. When such actions arise from racial bigotry and hatred, they betray our core values and cannot be tolerated." I thought that was a strong statement. I don't know why the president miffed this opportunity. We need in moments like this, President, to express our values, to express our angst, to express and to comfort us. And instead, we got, "It's not my fault," on many, many sides. Look, let's be clear. This occurred because a group of white, racist supremacists, Nazis, chanting anti-black, anti-Jewish slogans, marched through the city of Charlottesville in a deliberate attempt to provoke a confrontation. Now, was there violence perpetrated by the counter-protesters? Absolutely. Yeah. But this occurred because a group of white supremacists attempted to provoke a confrontation, and the president should have, in my opinion, condemned them in the kind of terms that his attorney general did.
No doubt. But at the same time, you see what's coming out of the left. You know, Nancy Pelosi tweeting, "Repeat after me, Donald Trump. White supremacists do not belong here," or whatever she said, but "repeat after me," she said in her tweet. Chuck Schumer coming out immediately, you know, condemning the president for his response. I mean, on the one hand, they're saying let's all get together and have some unity here, and on the other hand, they're fueling this fire against the president.
Yeah.
Because maybe his response wasn't exactly what they wanted. It wasn't exactly perfect.
Let's be clear. Nancy Pelosi doesn't want the country to be united.
That's right.
What she wants, right. The resistance of the Democratic Party. I wrote about this last week in my column in the Wall Street Journal. The intolerance of the Democratic Party towards the president is evident each and every day. They can't find, any moment in which they could join with him. Instead, they condemn him as an illegitimate figure. They condemn everything he does. I get that. So I'm going to ignore Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. I just want my president, the president of all of Americans, to strike the right note in a moment like this. And I don't know why he went off and veered off with the, on many sides, on many sides. He didn't need to get into that. He didn't need to say this has been going on for a long time. We know that. He didn't need to say it's not my fault, not Donald Trump and not Barack Obama. It was a missed opportunity.
Really important points that you're making, Karl. Let me switch over to what's going on within his own party, because this week we saw the president and Mitch McConnell get into it a bit. First you had Mitch McConnell saying, look, the president's expectations are excessive. Donald Trump hits back. Basically, the president says, I've been hearing about repealing and replacing for 7 years. Get the job done. And all of a sudden now it's this ditch Mitch idea that the president says if Mitch McConnell can't get health care done, then maybe it is time for him to step down. Your thoughts on what took place this week?
Well, if the president continues along this line, he may get Mitch McConnell ousted as majority leader, but replaced by Chuck Schumer, creating a civil war within your own party. Look, Mitch McConnell made a comment in front of a group in Louisville saying the president's got excessive expectations. This is tough work. It takes a long time. Frankly, he's right. But the president shouldn't have taken offense at it. If he had ignored it, this would have not happened. Instead, he launches a barrage at the leader of his own party in the Senate, and frankly, it was unfair. Mitch McConnell did everything humanly possible to try and get a vote done in the Senate, and it failed by 3 votes, by John McCain flipping at the last minute. And you don't, when that happens, the president cannot condemn his own people, and particularly when he went on and say, now I want you to get tax cuts done, health care done, and an infrastructure, and get it all done quickly. Well, the president has yet to lay out his own infrastructure package. In fact, this is the week that he's appointing his infrastructure committees. Have an event this week to announce the appointment of some of these people. So if he hasn't even laid out his own package, why does he have any expectation that the Congress should immediately pass it?
So how
look,
how should
the president should step
Karl?
back.
How should he react?
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what he ought to say? First of all, he's got to be the president. Most of the members of Congress say things about the president of their own party all the time. And most of the time, the president ignores it. And if he has something to say about it, and I was in a White House for 7 years in which lots of Republicans said things about the president that I served, and what he would do was ignore most of it. And if he had something to say about it, he would say it privately and end up having a better understanding, a better relationship. A civil war inside the Republican Party will hurt the Republicans in the Senate in 2018, but after 2018, all the damage will fall on the head of the president. If he loses control of the Senate, how many investigatory committees led by partisan Democrats does he think he's going to enjoy? And in 2020, if his point is you can't get anything done, in 2020 people will say, you know what, I've heard you complain about the Republican Congress not getting anything done, but you're the Republican president and you haven't gotten anything done.
All right, so let me ask you
this is dangerous for the president. Very dangerous.
All the right points, obviously, but let me ask you this. How should he deal with the fact that we know that there is a group of Republicans who probably don't care if he succeeds or not? I mean, seriously, don't you think that's true, Karl? There are a portion of the Congress, whether it's on the Senate side or even on the House side, that especially on the Senate, they're going to be there for 6 years. They don't care if he succeeds or not. And they're going to say things out there that sound like they're Democrats, actually. How should he react?
Well, I think I'd put it just a little bit differently. There are a lot of people who think their fate is not tied to him. And what he's got to do is say, we're all in this together.
Yeah.
Our success as a party and a country depend upon us delivering on our promises. Mitch McConnell has not given up on trying to get something done on health care. And neither should the president give up on trying to get something done with fellow Republicans. Strengthen them, don't weaken them.
All right, we'll leave it there. Karl Rove, always a pleasure. Thanks so much.